Hello, welcome to the Sapling, a podcast where we will discuss plants, insects, food, and people. I'm your host, Dr. Jelagat Cheruiyot. I am a senior professor of practice in the Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology at Tulane University in New Orleans, Louisiana, where I teach and mentor undergraduate research focused on insects, plants, conservation, and sustainable food production and healthy ecosystems. I grew up in a village called Kapkoi in Kenya, surrounded by a large family that made every day an adventure. My parents were always focused on ensuring we had access to fresh food and a good education. On our farm, we grew a variety of produce and raised chickens, sheep, and cows. Everything we ate was freshly and sustainably harvested from the land. Through this, I learned a great deal from the women and the men in my family about caring for plants and animals, how to identify pests, how to manage them, how to nurture the crops and the animals. It was during these chores that I developed a deep love and understanding of plants, insects, and the broader world of living organisms. Over time, I explored other interests, but plants, insects, and nature continued to call me back to my roots. I have a PhD in biological sciences from Auburn University, Alabama, and a Master of Science in Environmental Sciences and Bachelor of Science in Biology from Columbus State University. In today's episode, we'll delve into some of the buzz around Kenya's relationship with a sweet treat brought to us by our busy friends.
Honey. Honey. Honey.
The cultural, economic, ecological, and environmental significance of honey are widespread. Due to Kenya's diverse flora and favorable climatic conditions, honey farming has become a significant and growing industry. Kenya's diverse ecosystems, from tropical coastal areas to vast highlands, provide a rich variety of nectar sources. This biodiversity contributes to the production of unique honey flavors and types. The most common bee species used in honey farming in Kenya is Apis mellifera scutellata, commonly called the Africanized honeybee. This subspecies of the western honeybee is known for its resilience and productivity and are notable for their aggressive behavior compared to other subspecies. They tend to swarm more often and are more likely to pursue perceived threats over long distances than other honeybee subspecies. Africanized honeybees were created in the 1950s when the African honeybees were introduced to Brazil for hybridization with local European honeybees. They have adapted well to various environments and they spread throughout the Americas over the following decades. Africanized honeybees can produce honey, but their aggressive behavior can make them more challenging to manage for beekeepers. I recently traveled to Eldoret, my hometown in Kenya, where I had the opportunity to speak with a family friend, Boaz Arap Kemboi, a honey hunter who shared with me a bit about honey's significance and hunting. Boaz explains that the nutritional value of honey comes from many of the different phytochemicals found across the natural world because the bees are foraging for nectar and pollen from a variety of plants, therefore making honey a substance rich with a range of nutrients. It is like eating a combination of beans, maize, vegetables, and so many different delicious foods in one bowl. The process that is much harder for us to accomplish. Honey hunting among the Keyo people, a sub-tribe of the Kalenjin tribe of Kenya, is a traditional practice deeply rooted in their culture and social structure. This activity, often seen as a rite of passage for young men who must demonstrate bravery and skill in order to harvest honey from wild beehives, often located high in trees or in difficult-to-reach places. Successful honey hunters possess extensive knowledge of bee behavior, local flora, and the best seasons for honey hunting, which showcases their connection to the environment. To harvest honey, a honey hunter climbs a tree and waves a smoke torch around the hive for up to 10 minutes. The honey hunter then blows smoke through the window to drive the bees out into 2 clusters. The honey hunter then scoops out the honey by hand into a skin bag. The Keyo men went to harvest honey in the middle of the night. The men would harvest the honey naked to reduce the chance of bees getting into their clothing and getting stung. The quality of the honey is determined by the type of flowers the nectar and pollen came from. The placement of the hive is very important because you want to place it where there are trees and produce sweet, fragrant flowers. The floral availability will also impact how fast you get honey, which is usually around 3 to 5 months. You would carry a traditional smoker called Lomorio Jot. The smoker is made of different plants that provide the structural support and the fuel. There are 2 types of bees, red and black. The red bee sting is painful, but the honey is much better than that of the black bee. Honey is added as a sweetener to many things, including porridge, and it is used to treat different ailments. Honey hunting is typically a communal activity, fostering teamwork and strengthening social ties within the community. Groups of young men often work together, sharing the rewards of their labor. Growing up, my family and community valued honey so much. It is medicinal and it is added to many traditional medicines, both by the common folk and the traditional medicine practitioners. In our home, our parents kept a pot of honey tucked away under the bed. Unbeknown to them, I would sneak in and scoop some honey to satisfy my sweet tooth. Eventually, they would find out because the pot would be empty. To this day, I consume honey on a daily basis. I add it to my coffee every morning, and I add it to my tea in the afternoon. While traditionally a communal and subsistence activity, honey hunting has also evolved into a source of income for many Kalenjin communities, as they sell honey in local markets, tapping into the growing demand for organic and natural products. Honey hunting is more than just a means of obtaining food. It embodies the cultural heritage, values, and communal spirit of the Kalenjin people. Beekeeping can help communities conserve and manage forests because they understand the importance of trees and the flora. Beekeeping can be a climate-resilient economic activity that can help communities in dry regions with high levels of poverty. Honey is a source of natural medicine and easily digestible food. Beekeeping is a channel for biodiversity and conservation. However, modernization and deforestation do pose challenges to traditional honey hunting practices, as bee habitats are increasingly threatened by urbanization. This reminds me of a quote by Dr. Robin Kimmerer: "Never take the first, never take the last. Take only what you need. Take only that which is given. Never take more than half, leave some for others. Harvest in a way that minimizes harm. Sustain the ones who sustain you, and the earth will last forever." Special thanks to our amazing producer, Jonah Yerman, for all his work behind the scenes. I'll be back next week. Thanks for listening.